Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. This will be for all my friends out there in New Jersey. Yeah, we've been spending some time talking about you. Why is that? Well, lately it's been because you got a bunch of good mojo going out there. It really started with Englishtown Mayor Daniel Francisco and his city council voting to refund that exorbitant $150 extra fee that you got to pay just to be able to carry a firearm. Well, that started a big trend, and as we know in movements, we are going to have ebbs and we are going to have flows. Unfortunately, today we are going to talk about an ebb, but let it not dissuade us from where our mission is, because there is something really good brewing out in New Jersey. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about even the New Jersey Revolution has a Benedict Arnold. Okay, America, listen, you're going to hear us probably talk about New Jersey a lot over the next several months because there are a lot of things brewing out there. There's a lot of things happening with the circuit court that sits above it, but there's a lot of things also happening at the local level. So you have this groundswell movement not only occurring from the bottom up, but you also have this kind of neat political thing happening from the top on down. And it's going to really start pinching the state of New Jersey's government into a vice here, and it's going to be fun to watch. Okay, now, what are we talking about? Well, as we know, we did this video right here about Mayor Daniel Francisco, who, by the way, was kind enough to join us on stage down in Tennessee. So, Mayor, kudos to you. Hope all is well out there in Englishtown, where they decided, he and the city council decided that, you know, this $150 extra fee we're gathering from New Jersey residents for concealed carry license, yeah, we're going to refund it. All right, that started this trend now that many other cities were following. In fact, we had multiple cities inside the state of New Jersey do so, and then we began to hear rumors that other boroughs and cities in states outside of New Jersey that had similar problems were also doing the same thing. Well, enter the council vote of Old Tappan, New Jersey on August 18th of this year, because apparently, despite the fact that they have a Republican mayor, and despite the fact they have an all-Republican city council, and this bill was actually brought forward, they have actually rejected it. Now, there could be lots of reasons for which they could reject it, one of which could be that they need the money. That would still not excuse the unconstitutional nature of these exorbitant fees, but at least it would provide for some type of political explanation. Now, I said earlier it was a Republican mayor and an all-Republican city council, so who are we going to point the fingers at here? And so this kind of brings us to today's lesson, which is, with friends like this, who needs enemies? And what I'm talking about is several of the comments made by certain members of the Old Tappan City Council that begs the question, did you guys ever take a civics class in high school? Do you guys understand how constitutional rights are treated, or certainly how they are supposed to be treated? Because when we focus on what they had to say, we realize that we have a much bigger battle on our hands. It's not only against the other side, we have a battle, apparently in some parts of New Jersey, and this is not unique to that state, against our own party as well. Consider Council Member Jin Yu, who stated the following: fees don't infringe on your right to own a pet, build on your property, or even own a gun. Rather, fees help us offset the costs when residents decide to exercise some of these rights. Yeah, except here's the thing. Owning a pet or building on your property, don't see that articulated anywhere in the Constitution. The last one, owning a gun, oh yeah, no, I specifically see that articulated in the Constitution. So, and this is a problem that we see where politicians, does not matter what letter comes behind their name, they confuse the difference between a privilege and a right. Councilman Ron Benedict Jr., who at least did some homework to determine that if you're a New Jersey resident and you have the audacity to want to carry a firearm to protect your life, you're going to be spending well over $1,000, of which there is this $150 exorbitant city fee. But then he was quoted as saying, paying $150 for a permit is one of the lower expenses on the list. So when you add it all up, I don't feel like it creates a hardship for the prospective gun owner who can afford the other items on the list. If you take away the word gun, it just becomes a permit application, and I feel it should be treated as the same as any other permit application, which includes a fee for the services that the borough provides. So essentially, he is like, well, if you can afford the rest, then you can afford our fee. Constitution be damned. Now, there were a couple of citizens of Old Tappan who also showed up to testify against the resolution, which they absolutely positively have the right to do. One of them, who will remain nameless here because it's irrelevant to the story, was quoted at the council meeting as saying, "Anyone who owns a handgun and can afford a handgun and wants to have a concealed carry should certainly be able to afford the fee for that. Those fees can then be used to further educate people in our town, our children and our students on the safety of weapons and how dangerous they are in the community." A pretty ridiculous position when you think about it, except for the fact that appears to be city council members that agree with it. Now, big kudos to Joe Laporto of the New Jersey Firearm Owners Syndicate, who has been leading the charge statewide on this. And I want to point out that the New Jersey Firearm Owners Syndicate, which we're going to link them up down below so you can show them some love, has also put this cool little map so you can track the progress of this revolutionary movement. But listen, he's been championing this cause all along, and he was quoted as saying, "No one should be charged for the right to come here and speak to this council. No one should be charged for the right to exercise their religion. The Second Amendment is not a second-class right. It's the same as anything else in the Bill of Rights, and there are certainly people who are foreclosed from exercising their rights to protect themselves because of these exorbitant fees. So it is factually untrue that anyone can afford these things." Now, the Citizens Committee on the Right to Keep and Bear Arms, which has also been very influential in this movement, released a statement as well through their president, Alan Gottlieb, which stated, "I am tremendously disappointed with Mayor Thomas Gallagher, Council President William Boyce, Councilmember Ron Benedict Jr., and Councilmember Jin Yu from Old Tappan. They voted against liberty in their town to defend a discriminatory and exclusionary policy." Now, the inspiration for this video was from one of the most prolific 2A authors out there, a gentleman named John Petrolino. And one of the things that John has pointed out that is a very systemic problem in the state of New Jersey is disarmament based upon race. And you can imagine the disproportionate racial impact that this is having on certain groups of color. What I think everyone in Old Tappan and everywhere else needs to recognize in New Jersey is these exorbitant fees are designed as a financial barrier to the entry into Second Amendment rights. And those exorbitant fees will, in fact, have a disproportionate impact on certain marginalized communities. Listen, New Jersey, this is a setback. There will be ebbs and there will be flows. Today was an ebb, but we will talk about more good things because there is a ton of positive energy. I want you all to stay engaged in the process. This is an amazing opportunity. Remember, got a link down below for the New Jersey Firearm Owners Syndicate. And hey, by the way, if you're not following John Petrolino, we're going to link him up down below. You should definitely check him out. Okay, now listen. In the meantime, if you guys got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should not get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information is down there in the description box. If you got an idea for a video we should be doing around here, cool. Click on that link right there and tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to the monthly newsletter, the ability to do that is down there in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.